mentioned, they are taking down one of the teams that was in contention for second place in the NALCS. So it's quite an achievement, and they themselves now moved to 4-8. So that's fabulous. But before we get into the achievements of Dignitas, I need you guys to help me understand something. Why on earth would you last pick Quinn into Malphite top?
I'm tilted.
Thank you.
Good answer. That's
Thank you for representing in fewer words my exact feelings on the situation.
KiWi played great, though.
Go into it, but
KiWi played amazing.
KiWi did play fantastic.
I mean, they talked about going back to the core of champions, and Alistar for KiWiKiD is literally the champion that got them back into the LCS. You know, KiWiKiD making huge Alistar plays is been the hallmark of his whole career. So that's definitely was a really good pick for Dignitas. This whole pick ban phase, actually, I had a lot of question marks watching the whole thing because it's not even about like the comp as a whole. Holistically, I really like Team Dignitas' comp. The question of the Quinn one is still, I'm kind of skirting around that because I mean, if you pick it, you know you can't team fight with Quinn. Quinn is not a good team fighter. I mean, what you try and do is flank around the backside and maybe assassinate an AD carry. It's so hard though.
Right.
They last picked it into a front line that is Malphite and Lucian, or Malphite and Alistar, which is so hard to get around. So
and a Kindred ult that even prevents you from assassinating somebody if you do get past
Well,
them.
at that point, you're like, okay, so we have to split that. And then they weren't really able to use the Quinn to split to do that either. I was thinking, as I saw it initially, maybe they're going to do like this China thing, and the Rocks Tigers, I think, also did it, where you pick Quinn early and get Lulu, and then you swap, and you have Lulu up top in the Malphite, and you try and snowball Quinn off the mid lane, where she can move around and, you know, get a lot of early game pressure, but they didn't do that either. So I'm still not quite sure how to fully answer. I think Darius had the best answer so far.
So there's two really big factors here. Okay, so one, you have a Lulu and you have a Caitlyn, but you want to have one kind of damage for AD, and that was Caitlyn. Lulu Caitlyn.
Yeah, one source.
Because Doublelift got extremely fed that game, but the reason why it wasn't as effective as it could have been is because they added 80 damage top, and it was Quinn.
And your AP that is Lulu and Gragas semi.
Right, so Malphite's empowered to build armor.
Yeah, so they don't have like a super AP, but they have like a good mix of AP. But what happens in AD and AP comps is you notice that some teams, they'll have like all AD and then LeBlanc. This is a exact opposite example of where it could have been all AP and then Caitlyn. And where the Caitlyn just like is the biggest threat on the team, but that kind of gets shut down by Malphite, but that's why you have the evened out AP balance. So when they hovered Vlad, maybe potentially Lissandra, that adds a whole nother layer where Malphite's like, oh no, I can't stack Thornmail or armor.
Right, I have to deal with the pressure from a Vlad or Lissandra in lane, so the immediate threat is an AP threat, plus across the entire team, there's going to be more sources of magic damage. I'm forced to go that direction. It then, by virtue, increases the damage that Caitlyn can output because you haven't been allowed the opportunity to stack armor.
Really like the specific examples that they had, too, because those are both AoE magic, which you're going to be taking that AoE magic, you're on the front line. But yeah, the other pick that had me with some question marks was the Kindred into Gragas after they already saw Gragas picked. Because I'm not a very good Kindred player, but I hate that matchup because Gragas has so much control. If you do not dodge perfectly with your dance of arrows on Kindred, her Q, then Gragas is going to wreck you. And even if you get a good ult off, usually Gragas will be able to knock you out of it. But they were able to pull it off here because, like I said, holistically, this Team Dignitas comp is very solid. They've got Malphite, Alistar frontline, and then 3 AD carries.
Maybe it was more of a comfort pick that he practiced a lot.
Like they said, going back to their core.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
Comfort pick for sure, and he did seem to have a bit of a rough early game. We definitely saw some better ultimates from Kirei in the late game, a very crucial one that saved Shiphtur in that team fight in the mid lane.
And crucially, that was after Gragas had used everything and engaged everything. So you can do it afterwards.
All right.
If he doesn't hold on to it.
I want to push this forward because I want to get to a team fight that kind of illustrates the way that these two comps interacted. In the mid lane, 4-0 nets the Baron for Dignitas on the back end, and kudos to Dignitas for layering their CC properly. We can roll this right out. You'll see the headbutt pulverized combo come through, and then the Malphite ult to follow. So again, the team fight prowess of Dignitas. Quinn, not even in this fight. You can see her in the back. She's on the minimap. She can't find a way into this fight. So this is where TSM really struggled.
It's not only Quinn either. Like at the end of this fight, all of TSM's summoners from everyone who died was still up also. So that was also a big
So no
factor.
flashes blown. We saw
Yeah.
that the Braum ultimate didn't even come out. The Gragas ultimate didn't even have an opportunity to be used, but that's because of those knockups.
Yeah, I mean, KiWiKiD, once again, when you highlight Team Dignitas, the Alistar plays from KiWiKiD once again are initiating everything for them. BillyBoss had a great layering right on top of it, so they were able to get the maximum duration out of the bounce house effect there. But yeah, you could, exactly. The setup for it was, oh, we can't really teamfight with Quinn. Where's Quinn? We're circling around, then they're all split, and they got collapsed on. It was a really good move by Team Dignitas.
So overall, a very peculiar draft by TSM that didn't allow them to make the most out of the early kills that Doublelift was able to secure. And then on the side of Dignitas, very well played when it came to those team fight phases and then playing around the Baron. Coming up next, though, we'll see if C9 can leapfrog ahead of TSM to share second with CLG, or if Energy Esports will end the week with a 2-0 finish. Stick around. We'll be right back.
That Gromp buff.